welcome back to Coyote Outdoors here. My name is Ben, you all know that already if you've watched any of my previous videos. Today we're in my brand new shop, well, new to me at least. It's pretty exciting to finally have my own place here and won't be doing videos in my driveway and stuff anymore. I just spent 6 hours here yesterday power washing all the floors because I just got the place. I'll go ahead and give you a quick tour. It'll be quick because it's small. If you look, we're gonna go around. We got an office, the most important thing, a TV. We got a whole empty wall here for workbenches. We got one workbench over there already. We got a bathroom, that's important. We all know that. And we're back. That was the 5-cent tour. Nothing too complicated. She's 1,500 square feet of pure joy. Now today we're going to be working on my 2001 Dodge Cummins 24 valve. This is a great truck right here. It's Christmas Day. It's raining outside, which is really weird. It's 50 degrees and we're in Michigan, so I don't understand that yet. I think the world's coming to an end. Maybe that global warming thing is real. Doubt it. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into this truck. I'll give you some brief history, and we're just going to talk about it in general. Like I said, just a quick video to get something up on the channel. And all right, we're over here on this side of the truck. We're going to look at a few things over here. This is, like I said, the Dodge 24 valve. They put these in the Dodge 2500 and 3500 trucks from 1998 and a half to 2002. They didn't have quite a long a run as the 12 valves did, but these engines were great engines. They did about 245 horsepower and about 505 foot-pounds of torque, if my memory serves me. That's for the 01 to 02 models. It was a little less in the 98, 99, and 2000 models. These trucks had the VP44 fuel pump. Now, a lot of people don't like these fuel pumps. They say they're ticking time bombs. Don't buy these trucks. Stay away from them. These fuel pumps will come and kill you in your sleep at night. Don't touch them. Don't look at them. Burn them down, whatever. This truck's got 217,000 miles on it. She'll probably hit 218,000 miles by the end of the week. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the original fuel pump on this truck, so she's got 217,000 miles on her. There's a few key factors into keeping these going. One of them is that you want to keep that fuel pump supplied with nice, cool fuel at a proper PSI. If you can do that, these pumps will run forever. Now, my particular truck, I've got something on the dash. It's a little indicator light that tells me if this fuel pump drops below, my lift pump drops below 5 PSI. That little light comes on and says, hey, you're going to want to do something because you're about to fry your $1,700 VP44. Now, usually what I do is that little light comes on. I start with changing the fuel filter, which I normally do every service anyways, but you never know what kind of crap you get from the pump. Then if that's bad, I'll say change out my lift pump, because I'm going to tell you right now, a $120 lift pump is a hell of a lot better than a VP44. So, she's a pretty good engine here. The easiest way to tell the difference between these and the 12 valves, if you just want to pop the hood and take a look and you don't know these engines, is you just take a look right here at the valve cover. This one's got one single piece valve cover from front to rear, while the 12 valves has got 6 individual valve covers. That's a quick way to tell the difference right at a peek. Beyond that, there's a few other different things you can look at. On the side here, we've got a big plastic cover that covers my VP44. On the 12 valves, on the P-pump ones, you'll see a big, huge P-pump with 6 fuel lines coming out the top of it. You really can't miss it. And on the older styles, you've got an old rotary style pump hanging off the side of the engine there. And they're pretty easy to pick out. My truck, we haven't really done a whole lot to it. It does have a tuner on it. It does have a cold air intake over there. You know, those are important. Other than that, she is completely stock. We got her tuned up on that tuner. I've got her on a level 3 tune. I was told not to go higher than that if I liked my transmission. So, this truck does still, believe it or not, 100% still has its original transmission at 217,000 miles. But I do think she is starting to slip a little bit, so that's probably something that is finally going to come to fruition on this truck. Let's go ahead and jump into the service. I'm going to go ahead and start just by draining the oil. I'll bring you folks along for that exciting ride, and we'll go ahead and get into that now. All right, now we're up here underneath the 24 valve, and I'm going to go ahead and stick my 3/8 snap-inch drive ratchet in the valve, or in the oil pan bolt here, because if you don't have snap-on, you have crap. That's going to trigger some people. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this out, and I'm going to try not to get any on my floor because I just cleaned these. This truck is soaking wet underneath and it's dripping all over me right now. Oh yeah, we can see her starting to come out already. Look at that. Look at that oil, boy, that's beautiful. That's a year old. Ooh, that is warm. I did just drive this thing up here from my house, and it was only a few miles. That is warm oil. But that's the way we want it. Nice warm oil, but make sure we will get it all out of there. Now we all know there's no way to do an oil change without getting it all over your fingers, so just go ahead and accept that now. Ooh, baby. I'll tell you, oh, there she goes. Look at that nice black oil. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. You just go ahead and see what that tastes like. That is, oh yeah, yep, that's got some mileage on it. So this truck was changed exactly a year ago, and if my calculations are right, that was about 4,000 miles. Now that's not a lot for an oil change on a diesel, but this one's going strictly based more off of time than it is off of mileage. I like to do my stuff at least once a year, even if, like I said, I have not hit the mileage yet. All right, she's coming to an end here. Do have to say, I don't know if all 24 valves came like this on the Dodges, but this one certainly did. That oil plug, if you've seen it, it just takes a 3/8 ratchet. It's got a square drive right in the bottom of it. And I know for a fact on these 24 valves where I work, we've got some of these in the switcher trucks that I work on. They all have a standard plug, so I don't know if that's an aftermarket somebody put in this at some point in time, because I am the second owner of this truck. I did buy this off the original owner, who was a diesel mechanic himself, so maybe he went ahead and threw that in there, I don't know, but I can tell you neither of my 12 valves have that. They both just have a standard drain plug. All right, we're going to go ahead and let that drain for a little bit, and we're going to get on over to changing the fuel filter. Not fuel filter, oil filter. The products I'm going to be using today, I am not sponsored by any of these people, but if you'd like to, I'm listening. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go with a Napa filter. This truck takes a 1607 Napa filter. That's just a regular one. It's not the gold or nothing fancy. It'll work just fine on this truck for the next year. Now, when we go over to oil, I'm going to use God's oil right here. This is, oh, that's a little dirty. Let's go ahead and find one that's clean. No, that's dirty too. Let's just go ahead and use the big bottle. There we go. Look at that. Now we're going to be using Shell Rotella T4 1540. That right there is God's gift to man. This is probably the greatest diesel oil that's ever been created. You can go ahead and use your cheap Royals. I don't care. But when it comes to my engines, I'll only ever use Shell Rotella. Now I know more than enough people out there who have over 1 million miles on their engines. All they've ran their whole lives is their T4s. My grandfather personally has a 7.3 in his Ford F-250 that he's got 340,000 miles on, and all he's ever ran was Shell Rotella too. That's some good stuff. I don't usually put any additives in it. The guy who owned this truck before me told me that he always put additives in the oil. I've never been one for that. I think this is good all by itself. It's got all the minerals, it's got all the vitamins, and it's got all the good stuff that you need for your diesel engine trucks. Now that my shameless Shell Rotella plug is done, we're going to go ahead and get into the oil change. The full filter change on this truck, it's right down here under the turbo, so it's going to be a little bit fun to get to. If this nice big cold air intake wasn't here, it'd be a little easier. But let me go ahead and jump under the truck and spin that off and spin this on. Remember, don't forget to pre-fill and don't forget to lube your seat. Alright, so we're back up top here. We're going to go ahead and get the oil put back in. Now the Cummins 24 valve engine uses 12 quarts of oil with the filter. So, believe it or not, I actually had a really hard time finding oil this year. I'm not really too sure why. A lot of people are telling me it's the plow company's fault. They're all wanting to service their trucks right before winter. So I ended up having to buy a 2.5 gallon jug and a couple of quarts here, 2.5 gallons at 4 quarts a gallon. That is 10 quarts. So I needed 12, so I went ahead and got a couple extra quarts here. Now it's always important to wipe out whatever filter, whatever funnel you're going to use before pouring it in there. We're gonna go ahead and take this and dump it in there. Well, there goes a quart. I'm going to tell you a story while we do this. This is going to take a little while. I'm going to tell you how I came to get this truck. Me and the wife decided to take a winter trip last year down to Texas and then to my grandparents' house in Georgia. While we were down in Waco, Texas, we were on the old interweb there, and the wife just so happened to come across this truck for sale down in San Antonio. Now, if you know anything up here in Michigan, our vehicles route to shit. So the wife goes, look at this truck, it's a screaming deal, it's a diesel, it's a 24 valve, we don't have one of those yet. So I was like, well, let's go down and take a look at it. So we get down there and we had a very nice fella. He was also a diesel mechanic, you know, showing me the truck. 4-wheel drive, which is important up here in Michigan. It's got the ranch hand bumpers front and rear. She's got the cold air intake and the tuner. And well, by the time we were done, I was handing him $7,000 and we were leaving with the truck. So we had our Jeep down there at the time, and apparently Christmas time in Texas is an outrageous time to rent a U-Haul trailer. So I gave another $800 to rent a U-Haul trailer to tow from San Antonio back to Michigan. Threw the Jeep on the trailer and we did a quick tour of the South through Florida, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, up to my grandparents' house just outside of Columbus, Georgia. And we came on back home. Now I've got a truck camper, and I had been using my 91 12-valve Cummins to haul around my truck camper. So I went ahead and decided that I was going to use this one to put my truck camper in. And I have been extremely pleased with the results. That old 12-valve I had, man, she struggled to get up to 65 miles an hour with that truck camper in the back. I mean, how that truck struggles to get to 65 miles an hour on a good day when the wind's blowing her direction and you're downhill. So I threw the truck camper in the back of this truck, and on away we went. And let me tell you something, boys, she ran good. This truck will pull that camper down the highway at 90 miles an hour without missing a beat. So I was pretty well sold, and ever since then I've been using her as my camper hauler, and every now and then I drive her back and forth to work. She's about right on there. That first big jug was 10 quarts. She needs 12. So I'm going to go ahead and dump one more quart in there, and then we're going to check it again. Been actually wanting to get to this for a while, and I just haven't had the time. This oil's a little cold because it sat out in the back of the truck overnight last night. When I get done with the oil, I'll take you inside the cab, and I'll show you my little red light. The oil pressure gauge on this truck does not work. Has not worked since I bought it. Something I always mean to get to fixing, and I just never had the time. I did put a mechanical gauge, because I'm right on top the fuel filter housing on these. There is a spot that you can take out a 1/4-inch plug, and you can tap a mechanical gauge into it. And I did put a mechanical gauge on it, and she's getting good oil pressure. So the pump's working good, just my sensor must be bad. And I just haven't got around to doing that yet. I've also got a replacement valve cover for this that I'm going to paint up real nice and use. All right, 11 quarts looks right on the money. I'm going to start it check it again, and maybe throw that last cord in there. Go ahead and put that back. Take that off there. And put the oil cap back on. Now let's start her and give her a try. Alrighty, went ahead and give her a ram for a few seconds there. Let's go ahead and check this oil one more time. Yep, she's a touch low now, so we're going to go ahead and throw that last cord in there. She'll be good to go. Now, normally I would change the fuel filter on this, but I already did that about 2 weeks ago. This is the only bad part about these ranch hand bumpers. You got to climb up on them. Do just about anything up here, but on the flip side, they also make a really good seat while you're working on stuff up here. Now after I throw this last cord in here, I'm going to back the truck up a few feet and I'm going to check for leaks. Make sure my drain plug is sealed good, make sure my oil filter is sealed good. They all should be. Not my first oil change.